Can exercise help after TBI, traumatic brain injury, or make symptoms worse? This is a great question. Yes, light intentional movement can help regulate the brain, but overexertion often worsens the symptoms. So you got to start small. So for me, I'll go through some different things you do, but when I did it, when I overdid it, it would set me back. And I'd be like, man, I shouldn't have done that. And then it would take a while for me to get back to where I was. And then I could slowly do a little bit more exercise, but you got to be very careful in the beginning. Start with tiny, tiny exercises. The best thing that I found to do was to go through like Feldenkrais, somatics type exercises. The Feldenkrais makes it like it's really a body-brain connection where every movement you do, you're very focused on it. So right now, if I'm thinking about my shoulder, I'm thinking about it as I'm moving it, and I'm feeling, sensing everything in my body while I'm doing it. And that's training the brain, the connection between the brain and body, which has had issues. And you're rewiring your brain that way. Now, short walks are very good for me. Gentle stretches, vestibular or balance training, walking, meditations, and mindful movements are all amazing things, but avoid pushing through. The brain needs supportive stimulation, not stress. So sometimes you get to the point where it's like, oh, I just need to press through and get through this and blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, boom, the light sensitivity or the whoa, and it sets you back for a few. For me, it was usually a couple of weeks, but it took a week for me then to rebound. But everybody's different, and that's why you got to take it slowly. Work with somebody like Dr. Beck, who's the best in the world at working with people with TBI to restore the brain function. He uses these type of exercises combined with laser and electricity to restore the function. He is incredible. He's one to restore my function of my brain. You can be treated at home, which is amazing. You don't need to travel anywhere. We spent $250,000 traveling the world. Here's the guy with a concussion injury who recovered. Here is a lady with TBI. This is a guy with concussion who recovered, and a case study. You can read about the treatment. This is my story. There's a girl with TBI recovered after 6 weeks after a car crash. There's so many people that are recovering. So please check out Dr. Beck. He's the best in the world. You can be treated at home. You can go anywhere. And versus having to travel, we spent so much money living in hotels, traveling the world, 3 months in California at a hotel. It's so expensive, I can't afford it. So exercise does help, but just be very, like, do exercises that are not like they're running, like pushing yourself. Like maybe that's the stuff you used to do to really push yourself. But my experience was that just made it worse. And I had to relook what type of exercise I would do. And that's what I said, short walks. But being mindful of everything, your movements, you're aware of what's happening, what you're feeling in your body, and that's retraining the body. Now I have a specific posture when I go on walks. It's very, very focused, and I can feel and sense everything in my body. And I was like, okay, this is how the body's supposed to function, not like this, which I was totally hunched over, but more like opening up my chest and be like, okay, this is the right posture. But just be aware, don't push yourself. That's at least my experience. I would just do gentle stretches. Yoga, they say, works well. Pilates, but just be very, very careful and gentle. But the main thing is just be aware in your brain of the movements, especially if you do Feldenkrais and somatics. I found it to be so helpful. It's just, and you feel great afterwards. You sleep better. But they had to restore my brain quite a lot before I had benefit from it. But once I finally got to that place, we're like, okay, now exercise can really help with traumatic brain and with the TBI I had. But it took a while for me to get there. And that's why I'm saying, like, once you stabilize a little bit, after they send electricity to restore the function of the brain, this is not shock therapy. But once they restore that, then things start slowing down, you feel better, and then you can do different types of exercises. But for me, I sat at home, for years, blindfolded. I couldn't go outside. Of light sensitivity, couldn't do anything like that. It was total mess. But for me, it was like, okay, get the brain, let them rewire your brain a little bit, stabilize, and then you can start doing more stuff. And it's amazing. So anyways, if you got any questions, let me know. The technology is there. It's amazing what they're able to do with people with traumatic brain injuries.